For years, I didn't train the rear delt specifically. Sure, when I was younger, I used to do the seated, bent over reverse fly, try to develop those delts. But for the most part, I hit them with uh, practicing for boxing and doing barbell rows and exercises like rows or seated rows on the cable machine. But just over a year ago, I decided that I wanted to build up a little bit of my shoulders, especially in the rear, because when I looked at myself from the side, it kind of looked a little too rounded for me. And I thought that would be a fun project. So after about a year, without taking a lot of extra protein to try and get to build muscle, I've noticed now that when I flex the rear delt, I've got some muscle there. Before I carry on, if you're new to the channel, my name is Grant. I'm 60 years old and I work out at home. So back to the rear delts. Well, like I said, when I was younger, I didn't really exercise them a whole bunch, but I did do some isolation movements, or I thought they were isolation. But then about a year or more ago, I wanted to strengthen them and maybe build them a little bit, but I didn't really focus a lot on like going to failure and stuff like that. And I tried a few different exercises and I found one that I feel has helped me get some muscle back there. I'm 60 years old and I have rear delts developing and I'm not pushing it to really build a lot of muscle right now. So that exercise, it's so easy. So this exercise, I'm not going to do flies at all. It's something that it looks a lot similar, but it's not in any way. So I'm going to get my fancy red dumbbells, and you could do this seated, you could do it standing and lean forward. I just like to put my bench on a little bit of an incline. And what I do, so now I'll just let the dumbbells hang like so, and just hang them freely. And instead of swinging back, which is what I was doing for a while, what I do is thinking about the rear delt area. I try and pull back with that, and then I stop. It's a very short range of motion, and I squeeze it at the top, and I drop it down. And I squeeze it at the top. So if you looked at my thumbnail of this video, you saw how I was trying to flex those rear delts. And don't worry, I won't be showing myself without my shirt on too often on this channel. But what I found was if I did this, and I did this to almost failure, I felt the blood moving into that area of my shoulders. Therefore, hitting that area, right? And the nice thing about doing these, I'll call them rear dumbbell, or what should we call them? Rear delt dumbbell rows. How about that? Rear delt dumbbell rows. I'm sure they've already been labeled that. I'm sure someone's done them. But the nice thing about this is because there isn't a lot of joint movement, right, with your shoulder or elbows, because you don't really want to bend too much at the elbow. You want to have a little bit of a bend when you start and try to keep that. And what you're doing is you're pulling back with the shoulder and up and squeezing that. So one thing you can do is, I'm jumping all over now. One thing you can do is practice that in the mirror without any weight, just to get the feel of the movement, and then add some weight and then see what happens. But what I was getting to previously was the nice thing about this movement is that because there isn't much joint movement, shoulders and elbows, and it's a short range of motion, you can add a lot of weight. So I'm using those light weights there just to show you, but I add up to 30 pounds at a time just to get this little range of motion here, and it really pumps the blood into my rear delts. So give that one a shot. Let me know how it works for you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. See ya.